Lesson 7. This week we're going to take a look at another classical song. It's called Greensleeves, and this is very popular. It's very fun to learn to play. It's got a very specific sound. It's another waltz, so it's 3/4. And let's take a look at what it sounds like. And that was Greensleeves. Now there's a few things we're going to do in this lesson. We're going to do it a little bit differently. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to learn it and commit it to long-term memory. So that means we're going to play this piece of music from start all the way to finish, all the way through. So no section by section, it's one all the way through. So make sure you've got your notes out. We're going to do a sort of a notes sort of section just before, which gives you notes on the piece of music. So I'll go through all the things you need to know about this tab and this song, and I'll break it down for you, and then the next video will just be from start to finish all the way through, and very slowly as I explain it, and then I'll show you how it's done at the end, the way that we're going to play it and the pace we're going to play it. Alright, so let's get straight to it. Greensleeve notes. Right, before we tackle this piece of music and we sort of head into it and we get confused and lost, we're going to look at sort of the breakdown, the mechanics of this piece of music. We're not learning to read music, we're kind of learning by tab and learning by ear. So the more sort of knowledge and theory we can get, the easier this is going to be. So the first thing we notice, if you've got your tab out in front of you, is that there's a 3/4 right at the beginning. That means it's a waltz. It means there are 3 counts in every bar. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, etc. It's like taking your clock, instead of counting out 4, you're counting in sections of 3. So that's the first thing, 3/4. In your very first bar, you'll see a little squiggly line, and then on number 2. Those 2 little squiggly lines are basically their crotchet rests. They are the 1 and the 2. You're not playing anything in this bar. You are just waiting, basically. So 3 is the first note you're playing. So you're going, when your piece of music starts, it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right at the beginning, we're going 1, 2, and we're starting to play on the 3. Alright, so it's kind of like a little step into our next bar just to start the piece of music off. Then what we'll notice is I've put a little bit of counting underneath the tab. So you've got all your numbers on your fretboards and where you've got to play all your notes, and underneath you'll see the counting. The counting is 1, 2, 3, and you'll see that on your note as well. And then you'll see 1, 2, 3. Then the next bar is 1, 2, 3. Alright. So these are the 2 countings we need to know. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and this is going to help with our picking and getting the flow of this piece of music. You can also learn it just by ear and you don't have to count too much. That's great, but if you want to know what you're doing, that's what counting is for. So we need to take a look at that counting. Basically, on the first count of every bar, we're going to be picking notes. And it's going to go 1, 2. And that's how we're going to count it out. 1, 2, and we're not putting our fingers on the guitar at any point here yet. We're just going to get this counting. 1, 2, 3, and then we play another note. The 1 is usually going to be pretty much all the way through the song, if it is not all the way through the song. It's going to be 2 notes together. So thumb and middle, 1, 2, and then you're going to be picking a note, 3. And that is our first sort of pattern. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Alright, so what you can do is you can stop the video and you can practice that. With these 2 fingers, 1, let 2 ring, 1, 2, then pick with 1 finger the 3. So it's together, and then you wait out the second count, you let the chord ring, and then you pick a note. That's going to be, if we did a slight variation, we could do that all the way through. But there's a little bit more sort of feel that we want to get by adding in a little bit of extra notes, which is why we're getting on to our second one, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's going to look and sound like this. First note is also, excuse me, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So those are the 2 sort of main important things that we've got to look at this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You can put a little bit of emphasis on that. And the other one is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you put a little bit of emphasis on that and you count out and you use your fingers and you practice that until you're incredibly bored of it and you can do it really well, playing the song is going to be much, much easier. You're going to get the flow instantly and be able to play along. So that's the important part of this section, is that counting. Being able to play those 2 things. So stop the video and make sure you practice that over and over and over. Don't just skim through it like most people are probably going to do. Spend the time on that and this will be much easier. Alright, the other sort of note on Greensleeves is that it's broken down into sort of one theme. So there's a sort of theme that rings throughout and it's played throughout, and you can recognize the tune. And it's played a number of times, over and over. But each time you play it, there's a slight variation on it. So there's 4 main parts that make up this Greensleeves theme. The first part, second part, third part, fourth part, if you look at it like that. In the first part, you learn your main theme. Then the second part, it plays the same sort of theme, but there's a little bit of chord changes in your left hand. So you've got your first part, which you learn, and your second part, which you're going to just carry on straight into, and that kind of makes up half the song. So these parts are a little bit different. This third part is very much the same as this, but there's also a small change again. So these 2 kind of go together. This one matches this second part and this fourth part kind of match. So you kind of feel like you're going to play this song sort of twice. You've got your first part, your second part, and that makes up half of the song. Third part, fourth part, and makes up half of the song again. And these 2 will sound, in general, when you play all the way through, these 2 will sound very, very similar. Small change in it. So it kind of sounds like you're playing a sort of a tune, and then you play that tune again. So it's broken up into 4 parts. The first 2 and the second 2 kind of grouped together like that. What we're going to be doing is committing this to long-term memory. We're going to try and commit it to long-term memory. So we're not going to break it down section by section. I'm just going to go through those 4 parts in the next video very slowly. Show you where to put your fingers. I'm going to count it out nice and slow. When you're counting out and you're playing, can get a little bit confusing. So we're going to count it out very slowly. We're going to play the whole thing very slowly so that your fingers get used to where they need to move and they get that muscle memory. And then we can ditch the counting. And the counting, hopefully, if you've practiced those two little exercises, will get nice and ingrained into you, and you'll get the feel for it, and you'll be able to sort of play the feel and then just focus on where to put your fingers. And then you're going to start right at the beginning and go all the way through to the end. You're going to make hundreds of mistakes. We all do when we first learn. Those mistakes, you ignore them and you carry on. Because whilst you're carrying on, your brain starts thinking about that mistake you made and it doesn't like it. So the next time you come around and you're playing the song again, when you get to that part, it tries to correct that all on its own. And that's the beauty of this. And then you'll be able to play it from start all the way to finish. You get a nice flow throughout the whole song. It doesn't feel like it's broken up into pieces. Start to finish. So that's the long-term memory part. So we're going to make sure that we understand it's a waltz 3/4. We've learned a crotchet rest. And then we've got our 2 countings that we need to focus on. Then we are breaking our song down mentally into 4 little sections, 2 and 2, that we're going to piece all together. And we're going to start from start all the way finish. I'm going to do it very slowly for you in the next video. Go through all the counts with you, from start to finish, and that's it. Then you get to see the song and you have a reference to what you need to aim towards. So the next video will be very important that you start slowly with me, make sure you have your tab out, and we'll go all the way through nice and slow, and that's it. You've got the tab, you understand the notes. If you've listened carefully and you go through them, you'll understand the notes, you'll understand the structure. You've got everything you need. And this is the great part about learning guitar, especially on your own through an app. You're teaching yourself. So I'm trying to equip you and not spoon feed you too much so that you can download your own tabs off the internet, accurate tabs off the internet, and you can start piecing through it on your own, and you can start learning on your own. And then your technical level ability goes up, and you just start playing much better. You can start playing whatever you want. You can pick and choose. So it's a very, very valuable lesson. We're going to do it very slowly, but I'm not going to spoon feed you. You've got everything you need to know in your tabs, and we're just going to start at the beginning and go all the way through. It's going to be a bit rough in the beginning, and you're going to feel like this makes no sense. And that's what everyone feels when they learn something new. They kind of get a bit overwhelmed. They go, I don't really know what's going on here. There's so much to learn. But if you start from the beginning and go all the way through to the end, like I keep saying, you're going to slowly get it. And in the end result is much better. You'll be playing it smooth, it'll sound great. You won't feel like there's any sort of hard parts that you want to skim through, and your technical ability goes right up. Alright, so that is basically the Greensleeve notes. All the way through. Right, we're going to get straight to Greensleeves. There'll be no stopping the video, practicing on your own or anything like that. 4 sections, one after another. Once you've done the whole video, then you can stop and practice and go over it and over and over it. Long-term memory, start to finish, that's what we're doing. Right, let's take a look at it. Okay, and we've got our first bar, and we can see the 1, 2, 3 counts. The first 2, there's a rest, so it's 1, 2. Now, the third note we play, the third count we play, it is on your 2nd fret. It is that 2nd fret, 3rd thinner string, the A. That would be 3, and you can just sort of pick up on it, any finger you like for now. So, starting 1, 2, 3, then we're going to go straight back to 1 on the next bar, and it's going to be at the 1st fret, and our thumb. So we're going to play those 2 together. That is 1. 1, 2. Alright, then with our 3rd finger, we're going to go to the 3rd fret, and we play that 3. Okay, next bar. This finger comes all the way up to the top, and we're going to play this C and the E, the thinner string together. 1, 2. Now the trickier part. We're going to take our 1st finger and put it on the 2nd fret. We play that as A, 3, and then open. A, Good. Next part, we're going to go to this, which is a G, thickest string, second thinnest string together. So we've got third fret and third fret, and we pick those together. 1, 2, and then for our 3, we're going to take our finger off and play that open. And that is our 3. Then we're going to take our second finger down to our second thickest string, second fret, and we play our B with that as well. 1, 2, and then our ring finger comes in at the third thinnest string, second fret, and we're going to play A, 3 onto your next string, A, 3, A, 3. Then we're going on to the next bar, first fret, and open. It's the same that we played in the beginning, and we play these two together. First fret, open string, 1, 2, and then for 3, we're going to place our second finger down on the second fret, third thinnest string. That is 3. Then our ring finger comes down into the F shape, and we're going to play these two middle strings together for 1, 2, and now first finger goes behind the second finger, same string, and it goes away, second finger away. So now we're at that 1, and it's going to go A, 3, A, 3. And that's all we have to do. And then second finger jumps up a string, and we're going on to our third thickest string, second fret, and our open B. You play those together. 1, 2, and then down to first fret on your third thinnest, 3. Then second finger back on the second fret, third thickest, and our thickest together. 1, 2, 3. Alright, and that is our first section. That's what everyone feels like when they're learning a new tab. Unless you've played a little bit longer and your fingers can move a bit quicker and you can sort of read a little bit quicker, it kind of sounds like that. So that's the first part. We're not going to stop the video, not going to do anything like that. We're going to move straight on to the second part. Now don't get too frustrated because that sounded nothing like Greensleeves. We're learning where the notes are and we're counting out until we get a little bit better at that, and we're going to go through all the way through, and we're just going to keep repeating this process. Alright, so straight on without stopping the video to the second sort of part of Greensleeves. And the first bar is telling us that there are 2 rests for 1, 2, and then on the third count we play our open B. Straight onto the into the next bar, first finger on your first fret, second thinnest, and your A string, your second thickest. 1, 2. Well, that's a bit fast. So 1, 2. Ring finger comes down. This is the same as we played earlier. You won't recognize that yet. Then we play 3. Third fret, that's your third count. Ring finger slips all the way up to the second thickest, same fret, the third fret. And we play our thinnest together. And that is 1, 2. Now we need to do a 3. So first finger on your second fret. We play that. A, 3. Straight off. A, 3. Good. Second finger on your thickest string. Ring finger on your second thickest string at the third fret. And we play these together. 1, 2. Bit fast again, so it's 1, 2. And then open. Take that away. Second thinnest. 3. Then second finger moves down to your second fret. Playing the thumb here, the middle string, the third string, together, 1, 2. Ring finger comes down on that same string, the G string, the third thinnest, and we are playing a 3, a 3 on your next string, a and 3, a 3, a 3, and then down to the first fret, second thinnest, and the A string again, 1, 2. Now we're going to take this away, the first finger, and play a, next string, second fret, 3, a, 3, 0, second thinnest, second fret, third thinnest, 3, a, 3. First finger goes in right behind that. We take our second finger away, third thinnest string, and our thickest string we play together. 1, 2. Now pinky stretches all the way up to the 4th fret. You can, once you kind of get it to the 4th fret on your 4th thickest string, you can take away this finger so that it's a bit more manageable, and you kind of let it hover over there. And we're playing a, and then back to that 1, 3, 4th fret, a, 1st fret, 3, middle string, and then 3rd thinnest, or the middle 2 strings, a, 3, and then straight away back to the 2nd fret, the 2nd finger on your 3rd thinnest, and your A, and you play that together, 1, 2, 3, and then again, 1, 2, 3. Right, and that is the second part of Greensleeves. We've played the first, we've gone straight to the second. We're not going to take any breaks, any stops or anything like that. We're going to go straight to the third. Alright, and this is what the third is like. Starting on our first bar, we've got the 3rd fret on your thinnest string and the thickest together. And we're going 1, 2, 3. Then next bar again, 1, 2, 3. Going back from 3rd to 2nd fret, same string, 3. Next bar, 3rd on your thickest, 3rd on your 2nd thickest. Playing these 2 strings together for 1, 2. Then take your finger away, same string, open. For the 3. Finger slips down to the 2nd fret on the next string. You're playing the thumb here, the middle string, the 3rd string. Together, 1, 2. Ring finger comes down on that same string, the G string, the 3rd thinnest. And we are playing a, 3, a, 3 on your next string, a, and 3, a, 3, a, 3, then first finger, 2nd thinnest string, your 1st fret, and your 2nd thickest, together, 1, 2, 1, 2, nice and slow. Then 2nd finger comes down to your next string at the 2nd fret, 3rd thinnest, and that plays 3. Ring finger onto the next bar, ring finger comes down into that F shape, and you play these 2 middle strings together for the 1, 2. Same deal as earlier, 1st finger behind the 2nd finger, and you lift the 2nd finger away. And we're going to go 3, 3. Straight onto the next bar, 2nd finger goes up to the 3rd thickest string, 2nd fret, and you're playing your B string, 2nd thinnest. You play those together for the 1, 2. 1st finger comes onto your 3rd string, 1st fret, for the 3. And then 2nd finger back down on the 3rd thickest, 2nd fret, and you're playing your top string together, the E. 1, 2, 2, 3. Alright, and that was the third section. Do not stop the video, we're going to go straight on to the last part. Right, in the last part, we're going back up to the 3rd fret on our thinnest and our thickest string together, and we're playing 1, 2, 3. Then again, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, open on your thinnest. Straight to the next bar, 3rd fret, 3rd fret, 2nd thinnest and thickest together, 1, 2, slower, 1, 2, 3rd finger comes away, we play that same string, 3, 2nd finger shifts down a fret and down a string, and we're playing that note, and we're playing our G string, our 3rd thinnest, together, 1, 2, then ring finger comes on, and you start recognizing we've done this earlier. We're going to be playing a 3, 3, 3, straight on to the next bar, 1st fret, 2nd thinnest, and our 2nd thickest string together for the 1, 2, then open for and 2nd finger comes down onto your 3rd string, 2nd fret, and we play the 3. So next string, 3. Then 1st finger behind the 2nd. Take that away. That's our 1st finger and the thickest string together for the 1, 2. Pinky, 4th fret, 1, 2, 3, 4. You stretch it out, 1, 2, 3, 3 strings down, and you let that go, and you can let that go, or you can keep it there. If it's too much of a stretch, let it go. And we're playing this 4th fret for the and then back down to the 1st fret for the 3. 3, 2 separate strings, this one and this one. 3. And the last part, 2nd finger comes down, and our A string together, 1, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2, 3. And there we have it. That was Greensleeves all the way through. We've done the 4 sort of main parts of the song without any stopping, without any going over the video, very slow. You're probably going to hate me right now because you're like, sounds nothing like Greensleeves, and that was just confusing, and I didn't like that experience. That's the usual experience when you're learning to play an instrument. There is always a lot of frustration because you're not quite getting what you want. But this is the way to do it. You start at the beginning, you go all the way through to the end. We've basically learned the counts, and we're getting our fingers, I'm showing you which fingers to use, so you don't have to worry about that. And we're kind of just very slowly going through, learning where all the notes are, counting very slowly. So what you do now is you get to stop the video, and you get to watch this video again. And I would recommend doing that a number of times. Stop the video, do it again, right from the beginning, very slow. It's not going to sound like Greensleeves for a while. You're going to just do that. Once you can sort of follow along with the tab, you know where the fingers are going, and you start thinking, okay, well, this is quite easy now. I don't need to worry about this too much. Then it's time to move on. So keep going over this video until you're figuring out where all the notes are, you're kind of following along with the counts, and you're getting all your notes. And then once you can do that, and once it's easy enough, then you get to move on. In the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to do very much the same, except I'm going to do a little bit quicker. So we kind of gone from absolute basics of the song to sort of the middle part, which is I can kind of start playing it now. And this is something that happens when you learn any piece of music. There's always this sort of process where you feel very lost in the beginning, it starts making some sense, and then you kind of start getting it, and then you practice it, and you've got it. So once you've done this, watch it over and over and over, and then move on to the sort of second video after this, and we're going to go through a little bit quicker. and then the third video will be right all the way through. And that is basically playing Greensleeves all the way through. A little quicker. Right, so once we've learned those notes in the last video, we're now going to play Greensleeves a little bit quicker. I'm basically going to play the song very slow. So you should know where all your notes are, you can follow along with your tab, and we're going to play the song very slowly, start to finish, no breaks. You will make mistakes, you just carry on and you keep going, and then once this is over, you watch the video again and again and again. And what you'll find after that is you can kind of play Greensleeves very slowly. And that's where we want to be, because then after we've done that, we're just practicing it and we're slowly speeding it up and we're playing Greensleeves. Alright, so this is going to be Greensleeves all the way through, very slowly. And we're starting on our first bar. It's the first the only commentary I'm going to do, with our 2 counts as a rest, and then we start on our 3rd count. Alright. 1, 2, Alright, and that is Greensleeves very slowly. So you'll notice it's quite difficult to follow along. That means you need to practice some more. So once you've gone through the first video and you've practiced with me, you've learnt where all the notes are, then you practice that all on your own and you get used to the notes. Then once you're kind of used to the notes and all that, you follow along with this video. You may need to watch the video a few times first, follow along with your tabs, see what I'm doing, and that way it sort of gets, there's sort of like a little pre-lesson to this where you get to sort of visualize and understand where the fingers are going, and then you'll be able to sort of slowly work at this. So this isn't going to come instant. It's the same with the first video. It's going to take a lot of practice. You need to practice on your own over and over and over. Then you watch me, you can even just watch me, and then practice along a little bit with me. Then you can stop and you can practice on your own. You just keep going. This is the point you want to get to, nice and slow, getting the idea of Greensleeves. Also listen to the actual song, Greensleeves, and get that stuck in your head so that you can kind of hum the tune. If you can do that and you can kind of hum the tune and you know what it's supposed to sound like and you know where your fingers are, it's going to force you into playing that. The next video is basically going to be me playing Greensleeves even quicker than that, and then we're done. So again, stop the video now, go over it over and over and over again, practicing very slowly playing with me. There will be lots of mistakes. You'll need to stop and you'll need to start again, and you'll just keep going all the way through. And that is basically Greensleeves a little quicker. And there we have it. That was lesson 7, that was Greensleeves. We tried something very new this time. We started from the top and we went all the way through. First, we learnt a little bit about Greensleeves and we sort of had some study notes. There's 2 little exercises in there that we need to practice. And then we went on to breaking it down, finding out where all those notes are, following along the tab, following along without counting. Then we practice that over and over and over and over, and we get on to playing Greensleeves very, very, very slowly, stopping and starting videos and watching all of that all the way through, just practicing over and over and over, reading from your tab, practicing on your own, following along with the video. Everything is there. And in the last video, we just got Greensleeves up to a sort of reasonable pace. You don't want to go any faster or slower. Get it nice and comfortable. Play it at that sort of pace. Alright, so there's a lot of work this week. A lot of that work is on you. And that is the part that I want to emphasize the most in this lesson is you're going to get to a point where you need to start figuring it out and working it out yourself. You're the person playing the guitar, and you're the person using your brain and your eyes and looking at tabs, using that information and playing on the guitar and getting the sort of comfortable hands and the coordination, all that sort of stuff. So it's very much on you to be able to play the guitar at the end of the day. So I want to equip you with that, and I want you to be able to sort of force yourself into playing and be able to figure sort of stuff out. So if you have any questions, queries or comments, you can Facebook us, and look forward to seeing you in lesson 8.